Well, after almost a month delay, we are back in the time loop. Um, it's like there are certain things about the series that cause me to delay it. It's nothing to do with the series or the it's nothing to do with the series. It has a lot to do with the game. Um, the game can be a pain in the butt, especially if I'm trying to make a race go well. I'm decent at this game, nowhere even close to perfect, and well, we're at Spa, which isn't really an easy track by any stretch. But generally speaking, if I make one or more errors in a race, the race is basically over. This isn't like no Crash Team Racing or Mario Kart where it's like, oh, I bumped a wall, nothing happens. Now, if I hit a wall in this race, I might as well just restart the video. And these can be awfully time consuming if I want to like orchestrate a good result, because then I have to drive for upwards of nearly half an hour straight without making any errors. In some videos it goes perfectly fine, and others it doesn't. There's some where I screw up on purpose, but there's some, like both the races that have happened to rip off Suzuka, where I've actually been trying my hardest and I just cannot. Attention, the loading times of this game are painful. So anyway, we're coming near a transition phase here, as has been orchestrated by Burnout finding and gaining access to a different group of available race cars. We have the GT3s as usual, and now we have GT4 cars. Uniquely though, these are actually slower than GT3s. By a long shot. I would introduce some new companies to the mix. Car companies, rather. There's two more, by the way. I'm still in the process of finishing off the full character list for the GT4 cars, but they will become part of the series in the rather near future. But for now, we are sticking with GT3 cars, and we are back with Burnout. But also joining me, ironically, we have all of Team Sonic. Sonic, Tails, and Knuckles starting right behind Burnout. It's quite a coincidence. Because remember, I can't pick which cars appear here. As much as I wish I could, oh my god, this series would be so much better if I could just pick out what liveries showed up. What cars and liveries. But, work with what you got, because this game is, well, actually playable on a controller. That Porsche slanted. Buddy, the road is that way. Hello, Knuckles. Okay. Yep, that's Knuckles, alright. Already past Sonic and some other guy. I don't know what car they were. Oh, this is... Ow! Okay, well, I'm making that corner now that I've been nailed. Oh, I forgot Octane's here as well. Alright. Try again. There we go. That'll do it. clearly take that corner very differently, Mr. Mercedes. Wow, you take your sweet time. First, I thought this was the 27 car that Grease Lightning had so many problems with some time ago, but no, this is, I think, like a 38 or something? Oh no. I'll read the number off when I actually get around him. Apparently the AI, even at this difficulty, can make that flat out. I don't care to try. Alright, I don't need a lane. So this race also ties, or also, is well over the record of cars in one race. Even though the number of GT3 cars is only 12, which is lower than average. But vehicles on track is 24. The highest before this, I think, was 20. Currently, Burnout's got some guys to come out of the woodworks to test out these cars that he has found. And of course it gives Burnout a chance to show his stuff without getting assimilated like he was back in like episode, like, I don't know, 15-ish, I want to say. He's been here for way longer than any Hot Wheels character has, or anyone else for that matter. So he should have plenty of experience with handling this Ferrari. You would think, as I told him, miss that turn. One key about this race, remembering what curbs I can and which curbs I cannot run into. That curb is fine, but there are some outside curbs in this track that will end my race completely. That one's surprisingly fine. That seems like it would kill me, but it apparently doesn't. I have guessed incorrectly. Oops. That's the F1 braking point. Balanced. Sunset's nice and pretty. Can't see it too well from where we are, though. It's on the other side of the hill, I think. That's why we can't see it that much. It is very lucky that both of those curbs are rather nice, because, well, if they punished you as harshly as the outside curbs of the next corners do, I would never have even done this track. FPS, I need you to not do that again. Yeah, that outside curb over there, if I hit that while I'm on throttle, that's, game over, yeah. That's a cheeky Sega Rally reference to get in there. That one's fine, also covered in sand for some reason. I want to know what the AI are doing to that turn, and how can I replicate it, because that corner is not fun. There we go, that looks a little better. just less than 7 minutes into the race, and it's already pitch black. I think I'm starting to get an actual feel for the course now. Had a practice lap or two to shake the rust off, because, oh boy, I was a little bit cringy, first two or three laps. I've been playing and watching so much F1, and specifically helping Tyve Hazard TV on YouTube with his Fourth Dimension series, or T4D for short. Or the Fourth Dimension, that I really haven't been able to, that's been one thing restricting me from doing this series, is I've been helping him with that. Like the co-commentator, but that series is actually rather similar to Time Loop and Universe Zero and etc. But it uses the Formula 1 game and not this. Big reason being that game's storyline writes itself, and it's always the same exact 20 racers in every race. So instead of attributing a certain character to a certain car, that certain character becomes a certain real-life driver. So instead of saying, oh, it's Valtteri Bottas, the real-life Mercedes Formula 1 team driver. No, that's Nelvert Witt. Why? Because we say so, more or less. It's quite fun. Well, I almost kept it in the limit of the track that time. Almost. I can just about do it flat. Oh, never mind, not doing it again. Almost 10 minutes into the race, and we've only completed 4 freaking laps. Welcome to Spa, ladies and gentlemen. Because you're hitting just about midnight right now. We started at 2 in the afternoon. Oh yeah, I can take that flat out. Suck on that. Take that, logic. It took me way too long to get to this track in this series, but I think if I had to save it for long, this would have been one of the optimal times to open it up. Because this was a rather important track back in Universe Zero. Of course, every track that was in Assetto Corsa was important, since there were only like 16 to choose from that were really any good. That's counting the Nürburgring GP and North Course as separate tracks, which the Toho Track Tour does not really do that. more finely tuned car, I don't think that it's at all impossible that I could take that corner flat out. But I don't really, I'm too casual to do that, so... At least in this setting, I'll do it in a league race, not here. I'm recording this event as a spin-off of a bunch of characters that were used in Hot Wheels video games. Among other things, I don't think I need to go all sweaty, racingly try-hard mode and making a setup that lets me take a corner at 160 miles an hour. Headlights, no headlights, headlights, no headlights, headlights. No headlights. Headlights, because I needed to make a turn. No headlights. Brake lights. Headlights. No brake lights. Fun fact, if you hit that inside curb in a Formula 1 game, you die. Luckily we're in a much bigger and safer vehicle than that. Oh. God darn it, this track is so smooth when you get it right. Not if you get it wrong, though. What the heck has happened to that guy? Hang on. Why? Fuel and tire are off. Was that guy run into or something? I guess he must have been in some sort of crash. Yeah, do that. Go vehicular stress test with the GT4 cars. We probably should have done that. Well, there's no way we could have though, but you know. At a later date. 10 minutes to go. And as light is beginning to build its way up, probably the end of the lap, we'll probably see a bit of sunlight as well. God, I just heard the trees there. Detail in this game, though, it's unmatched, honestly. As far as racing games, anyway. Obviously, like, detail of The Sims 4 is going to be a little more accurate than that of some random sim racing video game. Yep, there's that sunrise. Oh. Oh. I'm looking at the sunrise, I'm looking at the racetrack. And also my speedometer so I can see how fast I'm going. More importantly, the racetrack, as I look away from the racetrack. The sunrise isn't even that pretty yet, not from this angle. There's the sunrise, right there. Or is it here? Or is it there? I don't know which direction is east, so I couldn't tell you. I mean, obviously I know east is to the right, but like... it should be over there, isn't it? Assuming the track map is top down, like, top of the track is north, bottom of the track is south. I don't know. No fear! Your uphill chicane at 140 miles an hour does not phase Burnout at all. I think I'm actually going to catch that GT4 car before the end of the race. Pretty sure. End of the race, it looks like more at the end of the lap. Boing. None of that should have worked at all. I should be backwards right now. So I could get 3 more laps of racing in. Ha, you puny thing, you have to let off for that corner. You had to brake, I think, actually. Bring me those taillights, boy. Why are you in the sand? I'm fine. And I'm gone. So as for the full character roster, let's finish charging while I'm staring directly at it for some reason. Not staring directly at it, I'm like, well, it is right in front of me. Ow, ow, ow. This will actually damage your car. I have like the smallest amount. Luckily, 1 damage isn't going to make much of a difference. Not when I have a 5-ish second lead. And not to mention my opponents will have to negotiate that Porsche. That was scary. 2 more laps to go. Good enough. Oh, more sand. Luckily, those curves don't do anything when you hit them. I'd have been out of the race a while ago. Didn't need it. If this car were much higher off the ground, I probably would have died. Look at my car actually bottomed out, and that was what kept me on the road. Almost perfect. But nearly perfect, but you died. This is not Crash Bandicoot. As we enter the final lap of racing. I swear I'm not done with this series. Not for a while. Balanced. Totally fair, I swear. I'm not cheating. Where would you get that impression? I just ate that curb for breakfast. Ow, fuck. That's like the first inside curve that I missed in this entire lap. Alright, I missed that one too, but I've only hit that one once. And that is the race. Octane managed to remain second, eventually getting back around that Mercedes. And Team Sonic, well, they stayed relatively close. And then we see the GT4 cars. So that will do it for this episode of Time Loop. Give a preview of what the 8 models of GT4 cars are. So we have 8 cars. We have the Porsche Cayman GT4. This is technically just a racing version of one of the vehicles from Time Loop that we saw, or from Universe Zero that we saw a couple of characters drive. The first one to drive it was Beat, however. The Ginetta G55, BMW M3 E92, Toyota GT86 Rocket Bunny. Rocket Bunny is the, like a, it's like they made the special body kit for the car. I have 2 Mustangs, 2013 and 2016 model. I usually refer to them as Ford Mustang and Mustang Boss. KTM Crossbow GT4, here's a car, and Aston Martin Vintage. So to run down all of the different vehicles and their kind of basics. From what I know, the Porsche Cayman is a little unsettleable, but good acceleration average in basically every other category. It's very average horsepower, very middle ground weight. Not the highest acceleration, but it's second highest. We have the Ginetta G55. This one, despite what the numbers will tell you, is actually the best handling. Best through a corner, and it's lightweight, means it's, well, that just means that it's really good at cornering. But the downfall of that is it's also got no driving assists, unlike the other models, because it's an older version. Or it says 2017. That is a lie. It's actually made for 2012 specification, or 2011 specification. I do believe, anyway. So, well, the AI won't be affected. I will be when trying to race it, so I have to kind of think about how I'm driving a lot. In the BMW M3, which is all the right in the middle ground, I would probably say. Okay handling, decently okay to control, good top speed. I would probably say second or third best in the top speed category. GT86, controlled handling, whereas this is uncontrolled handling. But the trade-off is that well, it's a 4-cylinder. It has very little speed. Despite what the numbers tell you, look at that acceleration. It takes nearly 5 seconds to reach 100 kilometers or 60 miles an hour. So yeah, it's not really that good. But you would basically need to be a complete moron to get it to start losing control. The Ford Mustang 302. I think this might have the, nope, second highest top speed. But its weight means it's a little harder to mess up with than the Aston Martin, but it also means it's, well, Other than that, stability worse in every other category. 2016 spec Ford Mustang loses some of that power despite having more horsepower. Which you can just tell by the fact the acceleration rating is exactly the same. That, yeah, it's inferior in that aspect. It does have good handling, though. If only the Toyota were on the right side, I would almost say that this line is the power and this line is the handling. If these two were to swap places, it would be perfect. Yeah, so this Mustang is actually more planted than this one. Extra weight helps that, but also updated aerodynamic kit. Aston Martin Vantage. These are effectively the heavy category cars of the game, of this class. Fastest cars, I do believe, in a straight line. Some of the better and very average acceleration, but their downfall is very understeery, but can snap if you do something stupid. So it's got basically the worst overall handling. And then finally the KTM crossbow, which works basically like a go-kart from hell. Very, very weak top speed. I was very distracted by that. Terrible top speed, but because of its lightweight, it can at least get up and go decently fast. So, those are all the upcoming GT4 cars, and in due time, these will become the player character cars. And I do believe each and every single one of these liveries is used by a character. I'm not saying who drives these cars yet, although you can probably guess at least one of them based off of this. It's kind of a dead giveaway. So, oops, but I don't know, maybe I'll juxtapose, who knows.